Okay,
Jesus.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome to our September meeting. It seems to me like we haven't been with each other in a long time. Seems to me, anyway. Okay, the approval of the minutes. Did everybody get the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, and anybody have any corrections?
The one that Maura pointed out, which was great.
And that, you got that?
Good catch, Maura.
I made another change too. The tax receiver report said June and it was really July.
Really? I missed that, Molly. I usually catch those.
I need a motion to approve the amended minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Committee reports. Deputy Supervisor Zemansky.
Okie dokie. Well, let me start first with the stats for last month, which I got earlier today. There were 31 calls in the village of Pelham, 43 calls in the village of Pelham Manor, 1 on 95, and 4 on the Hutch. I couldn't download these today, so you have to bear with me. I have to read them off my phone. The response time for the fly car, 6 minutes and under was 46%, and 7 minutes and under was 71% of the calls. I did receive a email from Chief Banquet today, which he gets from Control 60. And out of all of the ambulances that were used, 23 were EMS county ambulance responses. 1 was New Rochelle and 1 was Eastchester. The rest were Empress.
And I also noticed that Chief Banquet's numbers were very, very, very similar to the...
Almost exactly.
Almost exactly.
Almost
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, there was just one other call that was...
Right. There was a 10-minute delay on one of the fly car calls because they were at a call already, had to be taken from that call to go to the other call, and that took 10 minutes, so that was an outlier. And the backup ambulance, they have an average of 9 minutes and 56 seconds, which is 10 minutes to me. So, any questions on the statistics for last month? Okay. I had a conversation with Mark at EVAC today, and although we still don't have a contract in place, they have started weekly meetings with their internal staff to start to look at processes for us. They also are talking all the time to Lieutenant Bellantoni and Captain DeSimone regarding what Pelham Fire would like. I don't know if they've spoken to Pelham Manor yet, but I know that Lieutenant Bellantoni and Captain DeSimone are in contact with Pelham Manor. So they're working on processes. We are working on a contract as we speak. He did express to me that at a public meeting that they were at, that Empress said that they kindly basically let us out of our contract and are there for backup whenever we need them. In the meantime, EVAC has been called 4 to 5 times a week to back them up out of 60 Control. They did take over, I think it was Putnam's EMS services. I'm not quite sure which county. So, the other thing that I did receive late this afternoon was a quote from Captain DeSimone, who's been working on the cost of the ambulance that we're gonna need. We did see Senator Fernandez today, and she's anxiously waiting for this quote so that she can budget for it, as well as Amy Paulin. We'll send it to her also. There is additional equipment he will need besides the quote, so he's going to send that to me, but this was the last quote he got from the vendor. So there is progress. I'm happy about the progress. We will sign a contract as quickly as possible, as soon as we get all the details worked out in it.
And he's working with Eastchester on what needs to be in the ambulance?
Well, in our RFP, we told them basically what kind of ambulance it had to be.
Okay,
So what he's doing is getting a quote from a vendor to purchase one.
okay.
That's what he's doing. So.
Any other
He's
questions?
getting multiple quotes.
Yes,
Yeah.
from 2 different places. This was one place today.
Yeah.
But there's only really 2 vendors.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not too many.
And the problem is, we will wait months.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna ask
Even
that.
though we're gonna get the
Yeah.
money, we
Right.
will wait months. So I know that Eastchester had some solution for us for that.
Okay.
If we looked at what we required in the RFP, if we could modify that a little based on the mileage on the ambulance, it really is based on mileage, they would supply us one. So we'll work on that too if we're not gonna have one January 1st, that's for
Right.
sure. So we'll work on that as we do negotiations with them.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman McLaughlin on Recreation.
Recreation soccer season started on Saturday. There were over 500 kids signed up this year, which is close to a record, if not the record. Fall men's softball started this past week. They have 9 teams, and that is the most they've ever had. They've also added an adult soccer league, which is at capacity. Most of the school activities start the week of September 18th. Registration is still open for most of them. Numbers are very, very high, and a couple of the classes are filled. All the summer camps and clinics were very, very successful. The clinics went right up to right before school started. The camp ended early in August. We have not received the AED machines for the 3 fields. We can use them, they're still on back order. Phil DeSimone has been in contact with the company, has pressed them.
Is it Medtronics or that?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It's the same one that we have in the building. We're working to see if we can get buildings opened and just to make sure everybody's okay. When we do receive them, Councilwoman Burke suggested having some sort of training session for any of the coaches that would be interested. There is instructions on how to use it in the box, and it is also voice activated. So when it's opened, it will walk a person through how to use them. And it is also connected to 911. There were 38 senior band trips for the month of August, and there were 2 very successful outings, so much so that they want more this month. So there is a trip to Arthur Avenue on September 20th, and that they'll be going in the van. Today's concert was canceled at Gazebo Park. There will be one on September 18th, and this one is being rescheduled for October 2nd. We had a lovely ceremony today in honor of and in memory of Pelham residents who died during 9/11, and Joe Dernan did an absolutely beautiful job once again, very, very moving. And the rec department helped set it all up.
Any questions?
I just want to point out with the AED, there's been a community member who's reached out to us several times following up. It's Teresa Pondock. She's a heart doctor, a cardiac doctor, and they are seeing a rise in cardiac incidents for youth. They think possibly related to COVID and the connections to COVID, those who've gotten COVID. So she is the one that sort of follows up with us regularly. So
She was the one who brought it up to us originally.
So is it a shortage all the way around?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's the same with the ambulance.
Right.
But in the fall, it's not I'm not gonna say it's not as urgent, but we have access to the schools.
Yes.
Yes.
And the schools have the AEDs in them.
Right,
And
What
there
we're more
are them
concerned
at
about is
Glover.
when the schools are closed down.
right.
But like on the weekends, I coach travel soccer on a Sunday, and I did some training the other day online, and I was like, I really don't know what I would do if there's a cardiac incident. Like, where is the defibrillator, the AED device in the school? Like, and is it closed? I kind of
I
panicked
would think
a
there's
little
more
bit.
than one in the school.
Yeah,
There are
but like,
many in
where
the
is it?
schools.
Like, I don't know. Like, I really would like to know more about,
So who would,
you know.
So what you need, maybe you can get
Yes.
hold of Mike and let Mike
Yes.
give you all the locations
The
of.
Yeah,
locations,
and then
yeah.
give that to like Pelham Travel and whatever the other youth sports are that use that field, lacrosse, and so and a note can go out to the coaches in an emergency, just so you know this is where it is. This is
The one at Glover is on the wall.
yeah, that's
Yes.
easy. That's just
outside?
distinguished.
I thought
As
when we
parent, I
put them,
can
we
see
put it
that one.
outside.
Yeah.
Mike also from Recreation did tell me today that they sent the football schedule to Empress. So
Okay.
that
Oh, that's
Empress will
great.
know when the football games are, so.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Councilwoman McLaughlin. Councilwoman Burke, Court Legal.
I mean, from the legal, there's not a lot going on. The courts were closed for 2 weeks in the summer, so they do not have the reports for the month of August for the justices. Still in the process of hiring a court clerk. We think we're getting closer. So we, hopefully by my next report,
Meeting.
we'll have a new court clerk. And so that is it, and I have some of the other stuff for old business that I'll get to, but I will read the report. I do have one monthly report for the taxes for the month of August 2023. Town county taxes were received for 2023 in the amount of $18,450.29. Penalties and interest were $2,911.26. Liens are $83,583.45. Taxpayers agreement, $12,424.03. Miscellaneous, $1,024. Pro rata is $3,224.59 for a total received of $121,617.62.
Any questions? Okay. Councilwoman Curtin on the library?
Did you know September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month?
Oh.
There's every day is something on the calendar.
It's a true story. And the library is celebrating by forgiving late fees. So if you bring your
Oh.
books back to the library, overdue items, they will waive all the late fees that have accumulated on your card. And sorry, this does not apply to charges for books and other items that are lost. So if you lost a book, you have to pay for it. Okay, but late fees, no. It's K-Day. I think I mentioned this in August, but we were just together. I feel like we just had a meeting.
I know. Like 3 weeks
K-Day for the kindergarten sign-up is this Saturday, September 16th.
Oh, that's good.
That's a big,
Okay, well, I pulled that from the newsletter, so let's check that. Yeah, let's check it. Okay, I'm sorry, it's Saturday. Thank God Augusta's here. It's Saturday, September 23rd. The same day as Tunerville.
Yeah.
But the kindergartens don't come to, I don't know.
Maybe they do.
They can.
Yeah, they can.
And will there still be a petting zoo? Yes. Okay. This is the first time there's going to be a petting zoo. The library is also celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which goes from September 15th to October 15th, and there's special programming and resources are on the website. And just a reminder, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to 11 is outdoor story time. And that is what I have on the library.
Thank you.
and novel night, don't forget novel night.
Well, novel night is completely sold out.
Oh my God,
So
I couldn't
I
believe
didn't
it
even
when
want to
you
bring
said
it
it the
up
last time.
because it's a sore spot.
But I saw people on Facebook selling tickets
Yeah.
that
I
they
did see
could
that
use.
today. I did see that today.
I hope
Oh,
you're
and
not scalping
you know,
them,
it's-
right?
I hope just as a, I
Taylor
just,
Swift concert.
I just want to also just say that I wanted to send my condolences to the Pelham Arts Center who
Yeah.
lost their executive director Charlotte Moqueen suddenly, and it's just a loss for the community, for groups like the library that do all the programming, and the art center is such a resource for our town, and I know that they're feeling that very deeply. So I know our hearts go out to the art center and her family, and that's what I have on the library.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
Nope.
On the supervisor's report, I'd like to report that I had another Eagle Scout Court of Honor. I've been a supervisor 4 years. I think I've had more Eagle Scout meetings than I've had town meetings, I think. But Liam Mead did a Eagle Scout project of making the playground next to the parking lot by the Christ Redeemer Church more safe by putting up barriers and things like that. He has a special background. I mean, he's just a terrific kid. They gave the award out on Saturday at Paris at Christ the Redeemer Church. And if anybody if you've never gone to that church, you should go.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'd also like to thank the
Sure.
Village of Pelham, because this morning they were able to block out the street for us, and so we could set up the chairs for the commemoration. So I thank Chris for that, because he took care of that very quickly. And I think that's about all I have on the supervisor's report, but we have a lot of new business and old business to discuss. So let's talk about new business. We need to approve a local law, number 2, to override the 2% tax cap, if in fact we override it at our budget process. So, does anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
No.
I'd like to discuss a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically something that we can do or cannot do. If we do when we have our budget negotiations and when we figure out what it's going to be, the ambulance will most likely cause us to be
absolutely.
over the tax cap.
Yep.
So we want to put a local law in place that we can do that, and it has to be a majority of the board that does that.
Well, I vote for that, if the way you explained it, yes.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
They'll have a public hearing, the next.
Next meeting. The resolution for the reappointment of William Clements.
To the review board, right?
Yeah. Do I have a motion to reappoint him to the review board?
He's been on it before, this is.
Yeah,
correct.
no, I know.
Can it just said reappoint. What is it to, how long is his term?
I don't
Do we have
remember
a
how long the
bio?
terms
Board
are.
of assessment review, I don't know what the term would be.
I believe it's 5 years.
It could be.
The other issue, the other issue with the Board of Assessment and Review is it's very hard to find volunteers because you're with your neighbors and you're butting heads
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
So Michelle always said to us when she got a great member, she wanted to keep them because it was so hard to recruit anybody. That's how she got Mark House. Does everybody know Mark House? He's on the board also. So I would move that he be reappointed.
Second?
Second.
Oh, just for the
The discussion?
discussion part, I'm gonna vote for, under advisement of, you and the supervisor, I'm gonna vote yes, but other than that, I don't have any,
Yeah.
I don't have any direct knowledge of
Him?
William and his position, but it doesn't, but under
Yeah.
your advisement, I'm happy to
Yeah.
support it, so.
Well, we could, the next
No.
reappointment, we could supply other information if you would like it.
Well, we will.
I think it's good.
Been on for years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
years
no,
How
and
many
years.
people are on it?
5?
5, I
Five?
believe. I think
Okay.
you're right, Dan. Yes, 5.
Yeah.
And basically what happens with that board is if you, as a resident, have an issue
Challenge.
with the appraisal of your house, you come to that meeting once a year, and it's usually in June, second Tuesday in June, I believe, and you present your case. And those 5 people listen to it, and then make a decision. Now, if you don't like that decision, you can always go to court.
Okay.
But that's what they do as a service
Sort of like
to the town.
arbitrators.
Yes.
Or mediators, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Mediators,
Mediators.
mediators is a better word.
Mediators.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go to Councilwoman Burke on the energy benchmark update and the circuit van update.
Yep, so last month, last meeting, August 14th, we approved a resolution for benchmarking. We've actually been, I want to give credit to Sam Vittorello, our controller. She's been working really hard in putting in the town's energy usage, almost every single month into the NYSERDA site. So really, she's doing great work. That allowed us actually to, with the benchmarking, to put in we're gonna basically, we should be getting a $5,000 grant. It's not a lot of money, but it's, it's good. It's, we're doing what the clean energy communities really hopes that all the other communities are doing, is following and understanding what your energy usage is. And and we're gonna keep doing this on an annual basis. And it's posted on our website. Thank you, Molly. If people wanna go check it out, it's on the website. So, that's good stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Yeah, and then I do have an update. Last month, I also brought before here information, a proposal that we have regarding the circuit. It's the electric vehicle rideshare program. They have it in New Rochelle. I've been speaking with, the people who run the program to see if that's something we can bring to Pelham. The proposal was a little bit high last month. I just got a new proposal this past Friday. I didn't really think we had enough time to shoot it out to the board. I haven't really had a chance to digest it. But I would, the price is down. I think I'd like to talk about it maybe with our budgeting process. If it's minimal cost, and it could be a tremendous benefit to this community, I think, from a, parking issues, sustainability, helping families out with commuting. I think there could be a lot of benefits. As I said the last time, obviously the ambulance and, paying for that is our 100% priority. And this is just something that could possibly also benefit the community. I do wonder, is it worth, at this stage, possibly talking to the mayors to see if they would participate or cooperate in an agreement or with us?
I think that's a good idea. We should
Yeah.
sit down with the two mayors.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll set up something with you
Yeah,
and
I think that would be
now.
great, yeah.
Okay.
With this newest proposal, and we can talk it through with them, so, yeah, so that's.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, under new business, we have Councilwoman Curtin regarding noise issues in Pelham and the New York State Clean Water Act.
So, the New York State, I brought this to the attention of the board last week. The New York State Clean Water, Air, Green Jobs Environmental Bond Act of 2022 has over $4 billion available in the fund. And I was told last week there's a resource that is helping municipalities apply for a portion of it. You fill out a survey, you say what your needs are. And I also, I think for us, with Kristen's work on sustainability and the different buildings that the town runs, this could be something we could potentially apply for and use for our facilities. So, and then I think build it out to the both villages and make them aware that this is an opportunity for them.
They could apply separately, or we
Yeah.
have to apply for
No,
them?
they would apply
Sometimes
separately.
that happens.
Yes.
That we have to apply for them.
Oh, well, then we should definitely work on that and
Yeah,
figure it
I'll
out.
work.
Are there
I'll work
things
with
like
you.
HVAC that can be
I
used
think
for
that's
that?
why I'm waiting for this
Upgrading
resource
for
to get
HVAC?
back to me, so they can let me know what other municipalities similar to us are applying for and doing, because with $4 billion, you have to imagine we could qualify for some of that. So I just think it's an opportunity for us, so hopefully we can make that work, and I'll keep you
Great,
posted.
that'd be great.
And then the noise, this came up on Facebook, but I think it's been going on, I put it under old business because it's been an issue for a while, and it affects the village of Pelham, and it affects Pelham Manor, and there's two things happening. One is Memorial Field has reopened after about 12 years of it being unused and non-functioning, And there was a concert there last Saturday that went in later than it had been expected to go. It should have stopped at about 10 o'clock, that's the cutoff, and it went later. And, you know, it's difficult when you have your top headline musical act show up or, you know, be late. You can't pull a plug, there's 1,000 people in the, but I know the mayor of Pelham Village and Pelham Manor reached out to the mayor of Mount Vernon and spoke to her, and she's very amenable to working with us and making sure that we all are in the know on what's happening at that field, and so we can share that. I think because communication, I think, is key here too, and this way you don't schedule a barbecue outside in your yard if you live on Marquand Place and the noise might be a little overwhelming, but they're kind of figuring it out because it just reopened, so that's one. And then the other aspect is the cars that drive around with those big speakers, and I called Senator Fernandez because New York State passed the Sleep Act, and that basically outlaws those. So it's not the speakers, but it outlaws those illegal mufflers when people retrofit their cars with those loud mufflers. So there's these new devices that are monitoring for sound and volume in specific places, and I'm hoping we could potentially use this for those speakers and those cars. So I will update you all on that as well.
Just to let you know, I'm not sure you're aware, but Pelham Manor set up a email account.
Yes.
And I get all the emails.
Okay, good.
Okay, and the ones with the cars have stopped.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah,
they work
It's been
with
much better.
Yeah, they work with the New York Police Department, the administration of Pelham Manor to work out that, and I've gotten none on that since June.
Okay.
On Vernon Field, I've got 7 so far.
Okay.
And one was what you said, it went past the time. Another one said at 4 a.m. in the morning, but
That was the cars though, so it was like conflated, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that just happened to pop up again, because you're right, it had been quiet for a while.
Right.
And then it just so happened it was the same weekend.
As
So-
the concert?
Yes.
Got
And
it.
so it was a little rough for those.
But if you ever want to see any of those emails, I have them.
That'd be great,
Okay.
thank you.
Any questions? Okay, I think we covered everything from public, so now we have public comment. Does anybody want to have public comment? Yes?
Katie Keenan, 225 Elderwood. So we missed last
Just
meeting.
exciting.
Can I request that the meetings get posted earlier than just the Friday before? For the
Be the agendas?
No, the actual, when we check the town website, the board meetings are not posted until the Friday before this meeting.
No,
They're
they-
posted in
No.
January.
January.
They're posted in
If you check the
January.
website, I don't see them. Like,
Wait,
just this-
You mean the link?
Like when I go to the town.
The link of the video for the
No,
meeting?
no, no, when, if you look on the calendar on the website, I don't see them.
There might be two, and one of them might be
Yeah,
blank.
like there's.
I think that's probably, I think you might be right, like, on the
Yes.
main page it might be blank, but
On the
then,
news and notices,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of
we
the
can
Yeah.
post on our-
Yeah.
It's always on the calendar.
Yeah.
We can
Right.
post on it.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
even when I check the calendar, I don't always see it, so just pointing it out that it'd be really helpful.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
agree.
It's hard to find.
So after our meeting, one of the things that we took away around the ambulance was that we were gonna help kind of get some public support. So we wrote a letter that we were gonna submit to the Pelham Examiner, and we have about 100 signatures in support. So I was gonna just read it, and then I will send it to the board if you have, and to the fire chief and anyone else that would like it, if you wanna make any corrections, and then we'll submit it to get more
Great.
signatures of support. Okay, so to the editor, we're writing to support Pelham's agreement with Eastchester EMS to improve the state of Pelham's emergency medical services. Pelham is the only town in Westchester without a dedicated ambulance service. Recent tragedies have highlighted this issue, however, this has been a long-standing problem exacerbated by COVID and the shortages in the emergency medical service EMS field. In 2021, Pelham's use of the mutual aid system, a backup ambulance network of neighboring towns, went up by over 500%, whereas other towns only went up by 50%. In many documented instances in Pelham, an ambulance has taken in excess of 15 minutes to arrive and on some occasions not shown up for an emergency call. Through the extraordinary efforts of the Town of Pelham Board, the Pelham Fire Department, and concerned citizens, including many EMS industry experts, Pelham is close to finalizing a contract with a new ambulance provider, Eastchester EMS, or EVAC, that will address many of our concerns. In our new agreement, Pelham will have a dedicated ambulance operated by Eastchester EMS, staffed by a paramedic, which is the highest level of emergency professional care outside of an ER. This will be in addition to a dedicated fly car stationed in Pelham at all times, which will also be staffed and operated by Eastchester EMS. The fly car carries life-saving equipment and a paramedic to administer life-saving care while waiting for an ambulance. This dual coverage, in addition to many first responders across both villages trained as EMTs, should give us robust EMS coverage. Our new agreement will also stipulate that we'll have more transparency around response times and service level agreement tied to response times, which will create clear accountability and incorporate remediation measures if those times are not met. These safeguards will help ensure consistent, high-quality EMS coverage going forward. Importantly, Eastchester EMS is a community-focused organization. Eastchester started as a volunteer organization, and they still maintain a strong sense of volunteerism and community spirit. To that end, they will offer free CPR classes in town, engage in community events, maintain an active presence through their social media page, and welcome volunteers. Of course, Eastchester EMS also employs paid professional paramedics and EMTs to ensure high-quality 24/7 coverage. Many may be surprised to learn that the ambulance is one of only a few shared services for the town of Pelham, meaning it spans both the village of Pelham and the village of Pelham area. This vastly improved service will cost more, and subsequently we may see a marginal tax increase, estimated around roughly $300 per year for $1 million of assessed value. To put this in perspective, the current ambulance budget is $275,000 and will grow to about $1.5 million. This is a small fraction compared to our school budget, which was approved by voters and grew from $87 million to $91 million last year. This marginal increase is a small price to pay for life-saving care. The last step to finalizing the contract with Eastchester EMS is approving the contract and associated budget in December. If you'd like to express your support, click here, don't be linked, to add your name to our list of over 100 concerned residents who are supporting the contract with Eastchester EMS. And please come to the Town of Pelham Board meetings in person to express your support to the board. Pelham is a wonderful place to live, and nothing's more important than the health and safety of our residents. Please join us in supporting this important step forward in improving our community. Sincerely, the Pelham Needs an Ambulance Organizing Committee, Katie Keenan, Ashley Mills, Katie Yang, Brittany Price, and Jennifer Iacona. And we have a list of people with their address. So I can leave this with you, or I can just email it to you.
Why don't you email it? It's easier that way.
Yeah,
That
that's wonderful, thank you.
On the surface, I like the letter a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
But I would like to check some of the numbers with
With the chief. That's all I was gonna say. Just
Sure,
make,
I'll send it to him as well. I'll send it to all of you, and then once everyone thinks
That
everything is
would be
factual,
very,
we
very
submit it.
helpful.
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's a great
Thank you.
letter.
Positively
Katie.
written.
So
and
great.
it's Terrific.
Thanks for doing that,
Yeah.
Katie.
Thanks,
You
Katie.
took good notes at the meeting.
I tried.
Well, we did have the follow-up meeting too, and that was a very good exchange between all of us, so that was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
So I'm Mark Cardwell at 86 Reed, and I want to also say that I'm pleased that there's been progress on the ambulance and that the board's coming to terms with the public safety issues in the town. I was wondering if you could shed a little more light on the sort of the timeline, like when the contract will be signed, when things will start moving.
January 1st is the
Is what
start
we're
date.
shooting for. The first discussion of the contracts is tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
So my only, caveat is that I asked the county for records for July and August on mutual aid, and it looks like, I think it's about what Chief Benquist said to you. It looks like basically every day there's mutual aid coming into Pelham. And I just think it's a precarious situation that we're in, relying on the county, and I feel some urgency about it.
Well, the county has posted,
Right, at Wilson's.
right,
Woods,
and
yeah.
that is for for that use of the mutual aid for Pelham and for Mount Vernon
Surrounding
only.
areas, yeah.
Right, but you know, I just
Yeah.
worry if that's it, if that crew's in Mount Vernon and we got something going on here.
So, what are you saying, Mark, that we should make a change tomorrow? Is
Well,
that,
no,
is that your
yeah.
intention?
I'm just saying, like, maybe we could try to aim for October or November.
Impossible.
We have an existing contract with Empress that runs through the end of the year.
Doesn't
Right.
have a 90-day out, or,
It's September 11th.
Right,
right, but you.
Just do the
right,
math,
but you announced
right?
it right on July,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and so we made the decision that it made sense to maintain that contract through the end of the term, while we are putting together the contract for the new ambulance company, which is a completely different ball of wax compared to what we have, as you know. So, that's where we're at.
right, and we're operating in this year's budget, so we have to get this into next year's budget, which we'll be working on in October, November, December.
I'm just saying, like, I feel a sense
know
of
that-
urgency and there's some way to move it up or accelerate it.
Well, there's not, and there's clearly a sense of urgency on this board. I mean, you've been at these meetings, I'm sure you've watched some of the ones you haven't been at. This is issue, job one for this board. So the sense of urgency is there, I assure you, but it's a process. And Councilwoman McLaughlin's point, we are limited in what we can spend. We can't run out, like, money's not gonna fix it, because we don't.
Well, we
have-
can't alter, we can't do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, so I understand your concern, I understand everyone's concerned about getting this done as quickly as possible. All I can assure you is that it is gonna get done as quickly as possible, and we're hoping it, we're expecting it to go online as of January 1.
All right, so, thanks again for the work that's been.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
I hope you've signed their letter.
I did, they're doing their own thing, and that's great.
Yeah.
So, I'm supportive. It's great.
Okay,
Thank you all. Thank you.
do I have a motion to,
Do we need it?
Do
Like,
have
we don't need
executive
it.
I don't think we do.
session? It's on the agenda.
hold it. Maura wants to make a comment.
No, I just said we have executive session on the
Oh,
agenda.
I'm sorry.
Are
We always put that on.
Okay.
If there is none,
Got
we just make a motion
Okay.
to.
we- Okay.
And
Adjourn.
me,
So moved.
second,
Second.
all approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and thank you for
Thank
the
you.
letter, thank you for working on that. Okay,
Now, the next thing after the letter is, next thing is after the letter.
Mercy, mercy.
I've already told Katie the last